As some of you guys may know, this crazy story happened recently featuring Dwight Howard, now former basketball player, Los Angeles Lakers and shit, and generally a bit of a legend in his own right, went into a bit of trouble when his wife, Amy Luciana, went on Instagram Live and decided to air out some of their personal business. And this was in light of their daughter. They've got a daughter together, I think, who allegedly CPS, Child Protective Services, took away from them due to some sort of like domestic dispute. So she comes onto this camera, she comes onto Instagram Live and basically tells the world that Dwight Howard has a very serious but secret cocaine addiction. No one knew this before. I think there's been rumors about Dwight Howard's sexuality for a long time, whether he's down low or gay or whatever, right? But I've never really heard anything about Dwight Howard when it comes to hard drugs. No, really not. This is the first time ever. And what was really funny about this was, you know, it's not funny obviously because there's children involved, but what was funny about the situation, about the whole video shit, was that when the wife was ranting about the husband's cocaine addiction, she happened to have the baggie. Well, it's not a baggie, it's actually like a fucking, it's actually like a sandwich bag. She had the sandwich bag full of cocaine that allegedly Dwight Howard was kind of running through. And she picks up one piece of it, and it's legitimately one of the fattest rocks I've ever seen in my life. I don't think I've ever seen that amount of cocaine in someone's bag for personal use. So I'm going to play the clip of Dwight Howard's now soon-to-be ex-wife, Amy Luciana, breaking down on camera, talking about how CPS took away their daughter because, allegedly, Dwight Howard has been doing a lot of coke and going crazy in the house, which might have led people to call CPS and blah, 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 blah. Let's play the clip, and then I'll comment to it as we go on.
But I'm fucking losing my fucking marriage to this shit. This shit right here. I told everybody, y'all got my stepdaughter was just taken by CPS because of her father. CPS and the police have been here.
Okay,
3 times.
My mistake. It's not their daughter together. They've got a stepdaughter together. So it's their stepdaughter together was taken away by Child Protective Services.
In less than 3 months, and I stood in it with my husband, even though I was scared for my own self. Whatever he wanted me to say, whatever it was, I'm thinking this is my husband. I had everybody around me saying, even after I tried to divorce him the first time, everybody around me says, you can't leave your husband this soon. You said through sickness, through health, through just, you said through good or bad. That's why I came back, but this is going way too far. But it's not even about me.
By the way, big up as well the toxicity around women. Yo, big up, big up, big up, big up, big up. Thank you for the subscription. Big up, thank you for the subscription. Big up, thank you for the subscription. This also kind of takes into account how toxic female relationships are. Because why the fuck are your friends telling you that you can't divorce your husband? For what? Especially at this sort of level. Like, what the fuck is that about? That is horrendous. Like, I know through sickness and health is one thing, but if CPS are being called to your home routinely to inspect how you are taking care of the kids and stuff or not, that's a big issue. You should probably, for the safety of yourself and the safety of the kids, you should probably run away as quickly as you can from that man. You shouldn't be staying anywhere. So I think that's really troubling that her friends and family were telling her to just stay regardless, even though she felt like after 6 months she could really feel that the relationship wasn't really good or going well, and that the CPS stuff was also probably an issue on top of it.
It's about the kids. The stuff that I had to go through with he had him lying. I recorded it. He was coaching our son to lie on me, and I had to record it. And it's this shit. I try to tell everybody he needs some help.
Wow, you see the back that big?
Nobody would have fucking listened because he got the money. I kept saying whatever you.
That's a crazy bullet. Usually when you have bullets, right, to put powder in, they're not that big. She's got this bullet where he allegedly Dwight Howard puts his powder in, and it's massive, bro. It looks like, I don't know, looks like a thumb. Usually those little bullets are kind of tiny. You put it into your key ring. I don't know why you meant to use those things, because you know it looks very obvious that they're, you know, there's obviously something nefarious in there. No, whatever club or bar you go to, they're gonna know you got some fucking powder in there. But he's got a bullet that's literally the size of a thumb. It's kind of wild.
I don't understand. I live with him. He needs some help. And this is it. This is what I'm fucking losing my fucking marriage to. This shit. This shit right here. I told everybody, y'all gotta help him. He is spiraling. I'm in here with him. I'm trying to love him through it. I was gonna run out the door. I was gonna leave him. But
A lot of sniffing going on there. I think she's crying, but those nostrils are huge and there's a lot of sniffing going on there. I don't know. Is she sampling some of Dwight Howard's gear? Is it really her gear? Who knows?
everybody told me, don't leave him, he's struggling. I stayed, but not this year. We got the police involved. CPS, you're lying on me. You making up alibis. You got our son, my stepson, lying. And thank God I recorded it. And he innocent in this, but you said just to protect yourself, you would take anybody out, including me, and I can't let you do it no more. I don't want to share the dirty secrets. I don't want to go out like how everybody else did this, man. But I got to protect myself now. I'm uncomfortable. Now, I don't know what is going to, I don't know. I'm uncomfortable. This man has the money. This man controls it all. And it's not about no money. I've been with this man for 14, 15 months. I never asked him for $1, nothing. I'm not on the credit cards. I just love him for him. But this shit is going too fucking far. And I'm so embarrassed. And I gotta even I'm just like, I don't know what to do. When I heard my stepson being coached to lie on me, I gotta protect myself now, and I know it was supposed to be through sickness and health, but this shit is scary. This.
Look at that.
This is why.
Look at how much that is.
I'm losing my fucking marriage.
That is a massive rock.
Because the money, y'all didn't want to help him.
That is crazy. Now, I'm no expert of the powder, right? I'm no expert of the powder. I'm no expert of the adult vitamins. I'm no expert of the drogas. But if I just had to take an estimate, if I had to take a rough estimate from my eye, right? From the strength and the power of my eye, I think in combination with whatever's in that bag, because that's a big zip. That's like a sandwich bag. It's not like a regular baggies that you and I or adults have are usually, I don't know, the size of a fucking 10p piece, right? A 10p coin. A regular baggie might be the size of a 10p coin, maybe at most the size of a fucking £2 coin or 50p coin. But they're not that big. They're usually like, you know, whatever. That's a Ziploc bag that you put sandwiches into. That's a Ziploc bag that you put like medication into. That's like a bag, right? And I think if I took the strength of my eye based on the rock that she's holding in her hand and the powder I saw in the corner of the bag, there's probably at least minimum 500 grams. Minimum 500 grams in that bag. Now, I'm thinking to myself, yes, Dwight Howard's a former basketball player, probably got a bunch of money, a bunch of investments, can definitely afford to be a functioning addict for sure. Because I think cocaine is one of those drugs that I've always said, I don't think regular people can't really get addicted to cocaine. I don't think so. I don't probably think it's one of the drugs that you can't really get addicted to if you're a regular person. You have to make a lot of money to get addicted to it, because you can't really do the bad stuff a lot, because the bad stuff will fuck you up, and the good stuff you can't really get all the time because it costs a lot of money. So it's the kind of drug that it kind of prices out regular folks, which is why a lot of people on the street, crackheads, are usually, you know, smoking crack and stuff, not smoking coke, because it's kind of expensive. But it's a real problem if you got money. If you got money, it's a real fucking problem. Because if you got money, that means you probably have a lot of time. Your money making ability isn't locked to a certain location. You're not required to be in a certain place to make money. You can probably make money wherever you want to be. So you can definitely develop a really aggressive and crazy addiction to any drug if you've got money. It's probably far worse for somebody that has money, or someone that's really like everything in life. Like I said all the time, my common thing that I say all the time, there's probably more things in common between very poor people and very rich people. I think if you're very rich, your susceptibility to drug addiction is high. If you're very poor, your susceptibility to drug addiction is very high. Obviously, when you're poor, your circumstances are awful, so you want to kind of numb yourself to your circumstances, and you kind of head to drugs and drink to kind of numb you from it. And unfortunately, as most of you people would know in the stream chat, sometimes if you're going through a bad time, having a drink or two can sometimes help you in a moment. You're still going to wake up and still feel how you feel, but if you want to just soothe yourself, having drugs and drinking can sometimes help, unfortunately. And if you're rich and you're also maybe just bored and have nothing to do, and feeling a little bit directionless, and you want to maybe numb yourself from the society and just kind of let the kind of days blend into each other, drugs can also form a way to kind of get out of that situation. So it's hard for people on either end of the scale. Very, very hard for people on the scale. But that being said, I don't think I've ever heard of a situation where somebody like a Dwight Howard, very prominent person, very public person, I don't know how it's possible to have a coke addiction on this level where you've got 500 grams in your crib. Now, this is if he's using it. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's like a secret plug. Who knows? Because I said before in the past, like, one of the really dumb things that you do when you do drugs sometimes is, like, especially when I was first buying stuff from like darknet markets, I'll sometimes buy stuff in bulk because I just wanted to like be the center of attention when I would go to like a party on afters and always have stuff on me. And then I'll be quote unquote selling some of that stuff. Or most of the time I'll be giving it away because I'll be super high and not remember taking people's money. But I wonder, does he have all this stuff for himself, for personal use? Or is it for him to sell, give away? If it's for personal use, it's impossible. If it's for personal use, it's impossible he has 500 grams just for personal use, and we have never known it. Because I don't, again, maybe because I'm not American, I don't pay attention to basketball and stuff. I don't really know much about basketball. But I swear, the most thing I've heard about Dwight Howard is that he's a journeyman, and I've also heard that he might be down low. But I've never heard any rumors about him being a coke addict. Never heard it. Never heard of it in my life. So how can you be a functioning addict at that level where you've got 500 grams full of powder in your back pocket at any time, but nobody knows? That's kind of crazy, isn't it? How is that possible? 500, you're going through 500 grams and nobody knows. So I'm wondering, like, whose is it really? Is it hers? Is it his? Is he trying to sell it? Was he doing that thing that we've all said in the past, right, to our parents? Oh no, it's not mine. It's my friend's. He just said I should leave it here, right? Is he holding it for his friend? Like, what the fuck? Like, because that is legit. That legitimately, from my eye, again, you know, I've not got the best eye in the world when it comes to this sort of stuff, but I think I've got a fairly decent eye to kind of be able to judge. I would say that is probably at least 500 grams. That at least in total is about 500 grams. Definitely at least 500. If I look at that bag there, that at least is 500 right there. That bag, I'm definitely looking at a 5. Crazy, isn't it? How you can have a coke addiction to that level and nobody knows. That's probably more dangerous though, to be at that level, because sometimes when people know, they can maybe intervene and step in and tell you to chill out. If you're just doing 500 grams worth of gear and nobody finds out, you can get yourself, you're not going to get yourself in trouble. No one's going to find out. You're just going to continue destroying your life little by little. Death by a million cuts, not even 1,000 cuts, a million cuts. Pretty fucking crazy, right? Big up Chris Mack. I arrived right now because as of yesterday, I've been sober for 6 years. Big up Chris Mack. I went to detox 2 days before COVID starts. Emergency with big up Chris Mack. Amazing to hear. I say all the time here. I'm always talking about the time I go away and out and stuff, but I always say, and I've made this very, very clear, that I think in general, most of us should try our very best to abstain from everything. It's not necessary. It really isn't. Like, it really isn't. Even a drink, it's not that necessary. It doesn't really do much. Outside of that first high or that first, like, nothing can ever replicate. Look at Bert Kreischer. He always says it. Nothing can ever replicate the first feeling that you ever get from drinking alcohol, from having a bit of a buzz from some beer or a bit of wine or a cocktail. You can never replicate that feeling. So you're kind of constantly chasing the dragon. It's even worse when it comes to drugs. So you're probably better off just like abstaining from all of it and just living a somewhat sober lifestyle, because it doesn't really do much for you, especially in America as well, where you've got the fentanyl issue. You should probably steer very, very, very far away from it. But again, what do I know? But his logic is that it's pure AZ. You're forgetting about the Lamar Odom. Yeah, of course. No, I'm not forgetting about Lamar Odom. What do you mean I'm forgetting? I'm not forgetting about Lamar Odom. Lamar Odom's a legend. I'm not forgetting about that. I know that story. I know that story for sure. But yeah, that's 500 grams in my opinion, right? So the update is as follows. Here's the update. Here's the update on the story. Here's the update on the story. One update on the story is that Dwight Howard's ex, who is, I think, the mother of the children that got taken away, I think so if I'm not mistaken, she came out, her name is Royce Reed, and she came out and said she has no sympathy for the lady because she was crying on camera and being all fucking upset and stuff, the end of the clip I played, and everyone's like, hey, why don't you like give her some support? Because she's also in this position that you were in the past. And she said, no, fuck that woman. Because when I was going through what I was going through, she didn't give me no support. She, you know what I mean? She kind of mocked me, which I kind of understand. Because when you're going through it with somebody, and then the second the other woman comes along, they always think they can fix things. They always think they'll be the exception. And obviously, time proves that they're not the exception. So let's listen to Royce Reed, the mother of Dwight Howard's son, react to his new wife, and what she's going through now.
Until you do right by me, it's always been about the kids, bitch. It's always been about the kids. Now you want to speak? I'm still blocked up, so I can't see what the fuck you're saying. But now you want to speak because he brought you into it? Girl! It's everybody else's fault? Wow! So you just don't think any of us fell for the antics either, right? None of us fell for the narcissism. Are you fucking crazy, Amy? Amber? What is it? Like, are you serious right now? You called me crazy, right? You said I was jealous. You said I wanted him when it's always been about the damn kids. And now you want to sit here and cry and sit here and be like, it's because of what everybody else did to him. No, it's because of what he does to people. Shit, I was just fucking first. I was collateral damage. Let's call Royce crazy. And people will believe it because I'm baby Jesus.
So she's enjoying it, which again, I don't have any problem with that at all. I don't have any problem with it because, like I said, I think sometimes, I don't know why it happens with women a lot. They don't tend to really like work together or have each other's back in these situations. So if there's a guy that's abusive and, you know, the new girl comes along, even if the other girl tries to warn her, she kind of like, you know, dismisses the warnings or acts as if, oh, like he would never touch me. I'm a princess and stuff. And then eventually when you also get abused, you're now crying and wanting support. It's like, no. I tried to help you before you got with this guy. I tried to warn you. You didn't want to listen to me. You thought you were special. You thought you were the exception. And now you're being proved that you're not the exception. So I don't really have a problem with her dancing on the other woman's grave, you know? Sometimes if you don't, what's that saying? If you don't learn, you must feel, you know? A lot of people probably warned her about Dwight Howard. She didn't learn and now she's feeling it, you know? So it kind of is what it is. She said, who's laughing? This is sad as fuck. These kids never should have been in his custody. She knew that. Look at the past. She allowed it. She condemned it. She participated in it. Crying now because she caught him lying on her is selfish as F. If it was about the kids, she should have opened her damn mouth a long time ago instead of leaving them for weeks to fend for themselves while you went on trips overseas. Crazy. Y'all can kiss my ass with that. You shouldn't gloat. Why are y'all laughing at someone's downfall? You should have been quiet. Bullshit. No one is laughing. This is about the children. Y'all sounding like Trumpies with the Epstein files. Tell me, please, when it's the right time to scream, I told you so, when the children are in danger. Get the fuck out of here. This girl, the last girl, the one before that called me crazy. This girl, the last girl, the one before that called me a liar. This girl, the last girl, the one before that called me bitter. This girl, the last girl, the one before that laughed at my downfall and threw their dreams in my face as mine turned into nightmares. Now I'm expected to be the bigger person? I'm 5'2". Nah, I'm reclaiming my time. I love American people when they write. It always sounds the way they speak. I love it. I love when American black people write. It always sounds like the way they speak, innit? Nah, I'm expected to be the bigger person. Bitch, I'm 5'2". Nah, I'm reclaiming my time. Like, what? Anyway, so she's really enjoying this, right? That lady's really enjoying this. But the really interesting debate, the really interesting side of this is this. So while this is all going on, Dwight Howard turned up at the Lakers and Knicks game, acting like nothing ever happened, getting on the jumbo screen, waving at all the fans. His wife just came on camera. His wife just came on the internet talking about he's allegedly doing 500 grams of fucking coke every other day or some shit. Next day, he's just at the game with his fucking championship ring on, acting like nothing happened. What a fucking legend. What a fucking legend.
Dwight Howard.
He just turned up like, look at him. Like nothing's going on. This is toxic. That's toxic. That's a real toxic male. If people talk about toxic masculinity, that is a toxic male right there. That is a toxic male. And he looks good too, by the way. He doesn't look like he doesn't look hungover. He looks good. Skin looks clear. Braids look like they're well kept. Shaved. He looks good. He doesn't look fucked up at all. Doesn't have bags under his eyes. He's not wearing shades. He looks like he looks like he got 8 hours of sleep, if not 10 hours. 10 hours of sleep. You put his fucking face in a bowl of cold ice. Like, he looks very refreshed and hydrated. And on top of that, he did file for divorce. Are you hearing the progress? His wife comes out of the blue and says, "Oh my God," crying on Instagram Live, "They're just taking away our stepdaughter because my husband, he's acting up. They keep calling CPS. CPS have taken our stepdaughter away." And she pulls out the baggie full of cocaine. "It's because of this coke. It's fucked him up. I keep telling you people to help him, but you don't help." She's crying, distraught. So she's blown this whole case up. And then a couple days later, he's the one filing for divorce from her. What the hell's going? I don't know what to believe. This is so interesting. This fucking story. Dwight Howard files for divorce after wife's shocking allegation. So he's offended. He actually got offended that she accused him of being a cokehead. She's like, "How dare you? I've never sniffed a day in my life. How dare you, woman?" So he's now divorcing her. Former NBA star Dwight Howard filed for divorce from his wife Amber Howard hours after she made a bombshell accusations against him online. According to the court documents obtained by TMZ, Dwight Howard filed for divorce on Monday morning. He listed the date of marriage as January 11th, 2025, but said that they had been not separated and with hope of they had not separated with no hope of reconciliation. Wow. Dwight said the marriage was irretrievably broken. He noted that he had no children. Or they had no children. The NBA star demanded exclusive use of his Georgia mansion. Of course, get her out, then you can do all the gear by yourself. The divorce filing, comes after days. Amber, who is more widely known as Amy Luciana, made shocking claims against Dwight Howard in an Instagram video. By the way, why is her name Amber Howard, but then her other name is Amy Luciana? What the fuck is that all about? Why has she got two names like that? We had not confirmed it as anything to Amber's claim. We reached out to Dwight Howard's camp and no word back. Dwight and Amber have been quite the rocky romance. NBA star first filed for divorce in 2025 after 6 months of marriage, but called it off months later. The Lakers star filed his own petition around the same time, but dismissed it as well. So now they're getting divorced, or now Dwight Howard's divorcing her after she exposed him, allegedly. But then the other bit that's really interesting is this post. Dwight Howard posts on Snapchat. He said, Dwight Howard says he has never done coke in his life. Y'all believe everything y'all see on the internet. Huh?
And Charlemagne said something along the lines of he doesn't believe, I don't want to misquote, but says something along the lines of Dwight doesn't look like somebody who does that type of drug, coke. And again, I don't know what Dwight does. I've never met him. I've never been around him. I don't know.
You know what's really funny? Him saying this, Dwight Howard. Never done coke in my life. Y'all believe anything you see on the internet. Bro, that's your wife. Why wouldn't we believe that? Why wouldn't we believe that what your wife is saying is true? Why would we believe? Why would we think she's lying? And why would somebody come on the internet talking about you have an addiction with this bag when it's actually them? That doesn't really sound logical either. It's such a weird, but I just love it. No clarification, by the way. No clarification from him as to whose bag that is. Just, it's not mine. I ain't done it. It's like, okay, but your wife said you did. It's not mine. It's such a nonsense story. So whose is it then? We have no idea whose bag it belongs to. We have no idea where that bag is now. The idea that she was on Instagram Live waving around rocks and stuff is fucking insane. Maybe she flushed it down the toilet. Who knows? But crazy, innit? Crazy circumstance. I just can't believe that there's ever going to be a time in life where somebody would have an addiction where they run through 500 grams and nobody knows. It's impossible. It's impossible. Considering how harsh that drug is, considering how intense it must be. it's impossible to be in a situation where you would do that much and nobody will fucking know. It's absolutely impossible. But maybe it is. Maybe athletes of a certain level have just an ability to endure, take in some of that stuff and it not fuck them up like a regular person. They always said the same thing about Dennis Rodman, right? You watch the fucking Last Dance. That was one of the best bits about the Last Dance, actually. Dennis Rodman's section, where there was like the team and Michael Jordan essentially accommodated him and his party lifestyle. Said, hey, you get an occasion during the season, I think during the break, right, to go to Vegas and go crazy. Do as much blow as you want, as much pills, fuck as many prostitutes, whatever you want to do. Go crazy in fucking Las Vegas. But then when it's time to lock in, it's locking in time. I appreciated that kind of way of dealing with a player who maybe had a bit of a crazy lifestyle, but they were a beast on the court. But you needed to kind of manage the situation. You had to kind of allow them to be a human being that would also then bring out the best in them when they came to the court, because they'd feel like they were respected. They feel like they had a role to play. They'd feel some level of responsibility. I think they managed that perfectly, by the way, Denzel. They managed that perfectly with him. Like, if you want to go crazy, you can. But when it's time to play, it's time to play. And he did it, you know? He did it fucking amazing. So that was really a great, interesting part of it. But people also spoke about his tolerance level, you know? Like, you don't really hear of athletes having low tolerance levels, you know? Think about it in general. Maybe artists is different, but you don't really hear of rappers, or sorry, athletes having like that famous story of that who's that kid? You guys remember who's that American? I think people in Stream Chat know what I'm talking about. Was he a baseball player who died? Was it baseball or basketball? There was a famous basketball player, young player, who passed away from doing too much drugs. I think cocaine specifically. And I think they said before he passed away, he had a proper addiction. He was going through a load. And I think one time he did it and his heart gave out or something like that. So I think maybe athletes just have a higher tolerance level for drugs, you know? Which also might explain why they do so many PEDs. You know? Maybe it might explain it, but I don't know what it is about athletes. Maybe it's their cardiovascular endurance or something, but they have an ability to kind of endure way more drugs than alcohol, for sure. For sure. Was it Len Bias? Is it him? I don't know who it was. It was like but from back in the day, it was like a famous story. Famous story from back in the day. I think was it New York or something like that? I think maybe they wore like a green jerseys. Maybe it was Len Bias. I'm not too sure. Big up Mac Triple. But either way, you know, God bless them too, Dwight Howard and his wife. Hopefully they figure it out. Talking about legendary druggy athletes, we have to talk about Lamar Odom. This Lamar Odom clip is fucking fascinating. Courtesy of NBA Central. This is from the show Vince and T-Mac. It says, the title says, I love drugs. You're talking to a real addict. Summertime, I did drugs. I ain't gonna front. I had some great cocaine summers. Let's look at this guy. But you know what? You know what's really funny with Lamar Odom? That's what I said. The Dwight Howard thing doesn't really make sense, because I kind of believe him, because he doesn't look like one. You can just tell looking at Lamar Odom that he's a real drug head. You know, he's a real drug person. You can just tell looking at him. So with Dwight Howard, I'm not too sure if that baggie was his. But if it's not his, is it his wife's? That woman that was crying? Really? She's getting through 500 grams. Fucking hell. Either way, let's hear what Lamar Odom has to say about. I love the lies. I love the instant lie. Like, did you do it during the season? No. Of course you did. Come on, man. What are you lying for? What are you lying for? You did it during the season. There's ways to get around it. You did it during the season. Come on. Yo, big up who's that in the kick chat as well? I see you in the kick chat. Big up the kick chatters as well. Big up everybody tuning in. I appreciate every single one of you. There's somebody in the kick chat here I want to see. Apologies, I didn't check this out here, but big up everyone in the kick chat who's there too. Big up to, who are you? Where is it? Yeah, big up to Nonchalant Charlatan. Big up to Nonchalant. Yeah, exactly, yeah. John Jones too is a good example. John Jones is a great example. John Jones is probably one of the best examples, because he was actually allegedly fighting people in the octagon high off drugs. So big up Nonchalant Charlatan. Appreciate you. Bless him, man. Bless him. It's got to be hard to deal with, man. It's got to be a hard realization. It's got to be a hard thing to kind of accept, that you could have been great. You were a good player, but you could have been one of the greats. Remember, there's one of the effing greats. If you would have had an ability to maybe keep your drug consumption down, or just forget about it while you're playing. Because I guess that's the unfortunate nature of nowadays. Maybe in the past, you could still be a Hall of Famer whilst being a kind of addict, right? A functioning addict. But nowadays, you can't really do that. You know, nowadays, in order to be a great, you really have to dedicate your entire life to the sport. Which is why they say professional sports is really, really cutthroat because it requires a lot of sacrifice. You have to really put a lot of your life to the side, on pause, in order to chase this dream that you're currently on. You can't do a lot of things. You can't go out. You can't, you know what I mean? You can't, there's a lot of things that you can't really do because of the pursuit for greatness. Even if you have off time in the season, because you know the other athletes around you are doing crazy work. They're going to train in cold climates, hot climates. Do you know what I mean? They do all sorts of fucking things to give them a competitive edge when the season restarts again. So all the time that he took off going crazy kind of cost him, but he kind of coasted by it because of his talent, you know? But he didn't really he reached the heady heights his talent could have taken him because the drugs was kind of holding him back. But again, it must be hard to break because he's somebody that has money and access to it, you know? When you got money, it makes things so much harder. Because you've got so much free time outside of what you do. You've got so much free time. You've got so much access, resources to buy the stuff that you want to buy. You can really go fucking crazy and really kind of go off the reservation. So it's actually a miracle, given how much stuff that he was consuming, that Lamar Odom is still here with us anyway. It's still a fucking miracle that he was still around us anyway. So big up fucking Lamar Odom, man. Big up Lamar Odom. Big up Black American, Stream Chat, big up Black American. Yes, there's no way you're comfortable waving around a 15 gal. Exactly, that's what it looks like, exactly. It's a freezer bag, exactly. A 15-gallon freezer bag of vitamins and handing a ball, unless you partake. I know she is emotional, but the headshot, yeah, for sure. Like, it doesn't, I don't know. Part of her emotional breakdown seemed legit. But also the way that she was handling it, if you really are disgusted by it, she would have just dashed that in the floor. She would have just thrown it out the window or something. You know what I mean? Because like, if it's pissing you that much, you would have just been, you know what I mean? It doesn't hold a value. It's not as sacred as what the person is taking it feels like it is. So for sure, I definitely agree with you in that regard. I think she definitely samples herself. But either way, we won't ever know. We won't ever know because, you know, we won't ever find out the truth because no one's really talking. She hasn't come out to clear up what she said. He hasn't really verified whose it actually was. So I don't think we will ever really find out whose that was. We won't ever find out. But then to add a cherry to the ice cream, to add a little cherry to the top of the fucking ice cream, this is the best update, honestly. I love Dwight Howard. He gets exposed by his wife for allegedly having a baggie, as a Black America said, a 15-gallon fucking freezer bag full of adult vitamins. He doesn't say anything about it. He appears at the fucking Lakers game with his championship ring on, acting like nothing's happened. Then he files for divorce, and then in the same week, he announces his retirement from the sport. In the same week, he officially announces his retirement from the sport of basketball. In the caption, I woke up today on the 12th of this month and I figured it's time to move on from Superman. I'm no superhuman. I cry. I struggle. I feel like everyone else. Through lies, the media, the hate, I still show love and smile through the storm. But now I'm taking off the cape and retiring from basketball to pour my life into my family and give back to the communities worldwide. I know some of you might think I thought already retired, but I didn't. The game retired me. I still had more left to give. Yeah, I did play professionally for 20 years. I'm grateful for being able to say, but I can't lie. Seeing the other players still going at the age of 40 inspired me to want to keep on trying. But now I believe my duty will be to pass it on down to the next generation. Honestly, it's so brilliant, this guy, man. Gets exposed for being fucking Pablo Escobar, doesn't deny it, appears at a Lakers game with a championship ring on, divorces his wife actually as a reverse Uno, and then later on down the line announces he's retired from the game to focus on his family. I love it. Yeah, so I thank you for all my fans and supporters throughout this journey. I love and appreciate you all dearly because without y'all, you wouldn't be no me. Also, thank you to the naysayers, the haters, the snakes. I wonder who that means there. And the people that came into my life to try to destroy me. We know who he's talking about there. Because every time y'all did, it only made me stronger. When my documentary releases this year, the world will know the truth about everything. Then you'll see how the sheltered little boy from the College Park, Georgia, who went on to the same school from pre-K to 12th grade, then straight to the NBA, was taken advantage of by the world. But through it all, still managed to keep smiling. And since I didn't get a chance to ever have a farewell tour, I decided to create a tour, not for fans to appreciate me, but for me to appreciate them for supporting me on all these years and giving me a reason to smile doing what I love. Every 12th of the month now, from now until D12 day, where I visit cities all over the world and do acts of kindness for random people to give them reasons to smile. That's fucking awesome. I love that, by the way. Every 12th of the month from now on will be D12 Day, where I'll visit all over the world and do acts of kindness for random people to give them reasons to smile. Let me know where y'all want to see me give back. Big up Dwight Howard. This is actually quite a good little thing.
Had this strong sense of faith. When I was 10 years old, I told my dad I was going to the NBA.
This tall, who can jump like this?
Pressure met me. I met it with a smile.
Dwight speeding down the court like a bullet out of a cannon.
Oh shit, sorry, I didn't see the camera. My bad. Let me start again. Apologies. Let me start it again. I didn't show the camera.
I just had this strong sense of faith. When I was 10 years old, I told my dad I was going to the NBA.
This tall, who can jump like this?
Pressure met me. I met it with a smile.
Dwight speeding down the court like a bullet out of a cannon. He's not stopping.
Life started moving faster than it ever did back home in College Park. Everything sped up. Games, cameras, expectations. The faster life moved, the more I had to slow my mind, breathe, and keep smiling. Injuries, criticism, I smiled. 3-time Defensive Player of the Year, I smiled. On that Olympic podium, I smiled. Winning that championship, I smiled. Through all of it, I smiled through the storm.
Him and those freshmen spent the whole summer in that little maroon and gray gym. By the time we got to his sophomore year, folks started flying in just to see what we were building in that tiny church school.
I'm more than a ball player. I'm a father, a brother, a son. A man still learning who he is without the jersey on. Standing here at 40 years old, I can look that 10-year-old in the eyes and say, we didn't waste the gift. We shared it with the world. The real honor is everywhere this game took me, and everyone it allowed me to inspire. Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. From College Park to the Hall of Fame stage, I'm still that kid who put his mind to a dream, held on to his faith, and smiled through every storm.
Big up Dwight Howard, man. Big up blood clot Dwight Howard. Big up blood clot Dwight Howard. Happy retirement to Dwight Howard. Absolute psycho of a man, though. Absolute psycho of a man. But I love the reverse Uno card he put on his wife there. The reverse Uno card on his wife was fucking chef's kiss. That reverse Uno on his wife was chef's kiss. Big up Dwight Howard. Big up blood clot Dwight Howard.